kati bakyusizamu AK47 bazijjewo, batuni bazijjewo, kati baleese emmotoka z'omuntalo, emmotoka ezirina okukuba ebizimbe, emmundu ezirina okwera nga zikuba mmotoka zinewaazo ez'amagye. So ndowooza mulaba mutosobola kugamba nti wawangula, naye ng'ate abantu b'ogenda okujagulizaamu bo teri muntu yanje n'omu akuba engoma akuba embuutu taliyo. Abantu bali mu kutya, abantu batya blood clot, abantu batya cardiac arrest, abantu batya endwadde zonna eza buli ngeri. Lwa nsonga bakimanyi bye bimu ebyokwekwasa bannayuganda baffe bwe bayitiramu ng'obulamu bwabwe bukola ki nga bugenda. Tosobola kugamba nti wawangula ng'era enkya ogenda kuwangula. N'olaba ng'ate emmoloka ezandikubye Congo, emmoloka ezandikubye Sudaani, emmoloka ezandikubye Rwanda, emmoloka ezandikubye Kenya oba TZ nga zeziri wano ku kibiina ekya National Unity Platform. Eyo embeera tesobola kugikkiriza. Obeera weerimba gwe kennyini era okimanya nti ovuga abantu abatakukkiririzaamu. Tuli mu mbeera ey'okubeera nti nakyemalira kati akola kyonna kyakola okulaba nga bannayuganda bonna abateeka mu kutya. Abaleeseemu enjala, abaleeseemu ebbula ly'emirimu, abaleeseemu okubasiba n'okubatta. Kyekyo ekyokulwanyisa kye n'okubaavuwaza. Yamanya nti omuntu omwavu tajja kwenyigira mu kwerwanako, omuntu omwavu tajja mu kwenyigira kusitula ddoboozi lye. Era ebyo byonna akoze eki abikoze. Kati olunaku lw'enkya ndowooza mulaba ennyonyi nga bwe muziraba mu bbanga, emmotoka by'amagye baŋŋambye ne fotokopi ebitundu ebisinga ebirala waliyo kati zijjanga. So fenga abakkiriza mu nkola ey'amateeka tugenda kukola kye tukola. Enkya waliwo okusaba, enkya waliwo okuwanjaga, okwewola Mukama Katonda awulire okusaba kwaffe bassebo ne bannyabo, naye ng'ate era tekijja kutujja ku mulamwa. Tweyanziza nnyo.
Operating, we are now having a press conference, but they are in absolute fear. That's what Museveni is. You know, he's a man in fear. He is a panicky man. He will call himself all sorts of names, Sabalwanyi, I don't know, General, and so on, but he's fearful. And he's right to be afraid. Because like I said earlier on, you see, when you're eating something that you have stolen, you eat in panic, you don't settle. You look left, right, center, and so on, because you are afraid the owner of what you are eating, which you stole, might show up. Check. You want me to use this? Tuogerako. Ntimwaye Museveni mwatu ali mukutya. Ali mukutya. Ngabo ndabagambi nti bw'obanga oli mukulya ekintu kye wabbye. Naye toba toterera. Olya bw'otunula bw'omagalala eno n'eno kubanga omanyi kisaawa yonna nannyini kintu ekyo ky'oli mu kulya kye wabbye ajja kubanga akusalako. Mwami Museveni yabba akalulu k'Abannayuganda kwe kutya kwalimu. Ajja kweyita amannya Saabalwanyi, General, simanya biki, naye musajja mutiitiizi ate mutuufu okutya kubanga yabba akalulu k'Abannayuganda. So tagenda kukakkana, tagenda tereera. Kwaka tuli wano ng'ekibiina ekitongole obulungi, tulina press conference yaffe egenda maaso, naye ne baleeta tanka ezakubako ne zaali mu gundi mu Northern Uganda, ezaali e Congo, biki ze baleese wano as if tuli batujju. Naye ffe tetutidde. Kyemuva mulaba twafulumye tubabuuze ki kye mwagala. Kubanga ffe tuli waggulu w'amateeka, obanga ogamba nti nzizza omusango kale amateeka gankoleko nga bwe kirina okubeera, temweyisanga batujju. So ffe tuli banywevu, tetugenda kussa mukono kubanga kye tuliko tekimenya mateeka yadde. Kale, kambite.
One of the things I was going to talk about, the levels of intimidation. Since yesterday, as I already communicated, over 100 people have been kidnapped and arrested. Those arrested include some of the comrades who you guys know. I mean, some may know, some may not know, but there's a lady called Olivia Lutaya. There's a gentleman called Zare, also known as Christopher Godi. There's one called Sanya. There's a councillor called Kamwokya Jafar. There's a sheriff. Some of these are just, videographers. Others run, video libraries and that kind of thing. Even here in Kamwokya, they came and arrested people just indiscriminately. Those they were finding, going about their normal business, were arrested and taken away. So this is what you're talking about, the state of fear, the state of intimidation. And it is very unfortunate, of course, that someone can claim to have won an election, and this is how they behave. What kind of celebration is this? What are they going to celebrate? How can you say that you won an election, and then you have to hold the citizens by the gun and to bring all these kinds of things? Maybe another thing I'd want to talk about. Countrymen, please know that the swearing-in ceremony is going to spend 7 billion shillings. 7 billion Uganda shillings. You can imagine how much that money can do. Of course, you look at the money they're spending on these kinds of things. These tankers here should be ambulances. We don't have ambulances, we don't have But then what you have are police trucks, military trucks roaming the streets of Kampala. People with some of these soldiers, you see them very hungry and desperate, but they are you know, carrying brand new guns. So this is what we're talking about, the bad governance which we want to bring an end to. But should we cry? Should we mourn? Should we be sad? I think not, because all this shows actually that the people spoke loud and clear on the 14th of January. This intimidation is just not directed at us. It actually shows that General Museveni and his people are extremely intimidated. That is why they are doing what they are doing. So the citizens of this country need to be empowered, need to feel very delighted. The citizens of Uganda need to rejoice, because where we are headed is a clear sign of victory, because these people are in total panic. So we should work hard and make sure that we bring an end to this dictatorship, which I am certain we are going to bring an end to. So we have information that they are planning to raid homes of our leaders. As Comrade Joel said, the home of our leader is still surrounded by the military and police. Other leaders have also been threatened and attacked and all that. But we are not giving up. Like our president said a few days ago, nti President Museveni wa General Museveni alowooza agenda kwerayiza naye ali mu kwesudiya. Kitegeeza kyekyo nti bannayuganda anytime bajja claiminga entebe yaabwe kubanga it belongs to them. Thank you.
Necessary deployment of tanks and military officers around this headquarters of the party National Unity Platform. When the activity that we are conducting here is peaceful, it's not even a demonstration. But we have declared that tomorrow will be a day of prayer and fasting. And it's not a sign of cowardice. It's not even surrender. We are only turning to God, the Almighty, to cry to Him for the lost and stolen victory which we are claiming. And look at the dictatorship here, and the dictator himself, hiding behind veneers of respectability. You look at the swearing-in functions. He has held so many of them. He has always handed power to himself by word and deed, that what we are under is a military junta. If today and right now you visit the home of the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi, it is a barracks. He is under siege. He has actually been besieged by all thousands and hundreds of army men. So we are here to say tomorrow we shall gather, and we are actually calling upon, this is a clarion call that we are making to our supporters all over this country, even those that are in the diaspora, that we stand together in solidarity to declare this fasting and prayer as a formidable weapon to beseech God to do the needful. Because with God anything is possible. Someone can collapse dead, however powerful he may be. We have not behaved like Samson.
Malira lazenti taina gwatya era buli omajja mutuukako naye nga ffe ku saidi yaffe tuze tukyogera ffe tuli banywevu kubanga tetulina tteeka litumenya namwe bannamawulire tebabatiisatiisa kubanga temulina tteeka lyemumenya. Leero muli wano ne NRM bwebeera ne activity wabeerayo abagendayo. Nja kusembyayo kino manyi waliwo abadde batwogerera nti NUP nabye planning enkya nga beefudde aboogezi baffe nga boogera bitutwogedde nga boogera bitutapulaninga. Olunaku lw'enkya Mwami Museveni agenda kwerayiza Ekololo era tuze tubiwulira mawulire baminisita nga bagamba nti ne Kyagulanyi naye yayitiddwa okujja ku mukolo. Netwebuuza Kyagulanyi baagala agende ajaguze ne Museveni ng'ajaguza ki? Kubanga Mwami Museveni mubbi wa bululu. Kakati omubbi bwakuyita ku kabaga ke ogenda ojaguza obubbi bwe kiba tekitegeerekeka. Abantu baffe battibwa bangi mu kalulu. Museveni agenda ku TV n'agamba nze naleeta bakomando bange okuva e Somalia ne bakola ku bana abatujju. Atuyita abatujju. Banumbian li edi mutwe n'abalala bakyali makomera kubanga tebawagira Museveni, bawagira Kyagulanyi. Ogwo nagwo musango. Abantu baffe bangi bakyapooca n'ebiwundu. Kakati ne twebuuza baagala tugende tujaguze nabo nga tujaguza ku ki? Check, maybe if you could turn, okay, maybe it's clearer. So, mic check, testing one. BBS mic, put it on top. Maybe. I don't know if it's what is interfering. Okay, so, netugamba nti tetuyinza kugenda kwetaba ku bintu bino. Tebitugattako nga NUP, eggwanga lyaffe, tebitugattako. Anyway, Museveni nga yeerayiza ekkololo, ffe nga NUP tusazeewo nti olunaku lw'enkya tululangiridde nga Oren, what's the matter?
It's on the mic.
Olunaku lw'enkya nga Museveni yeerayiza ekkololo, ffe tululangiridde ng'olunaku lw'okusaba n'okusiiba. Ffe nga NUP tugenda kusaba, tugenda kusiiba, tuwanjagire omutonzi. Kubanga ebigenda mu ggwanga lyaffe mwattu byennyamiza. Abantu baffe battibwa, abantu baffe bawambibwa, bakyawambibwa, bangi bapookya na biwundu. Demokrasiya yakanyugibwa ebweru. Embeera yennyamiza y'eggwanga lyaffe. Batukalakata. So, ffe nga NDP twasazeewo nti olunaku lw'enkya tululangiridde ng'olunaku lw'okusaba n'okusiiba. Twebaza bannaffe Abayisiraamu abakyali mu kisiibo. Tetumanyi oba enkya eneebeera Idi oba luli, naye enkya bwe munaaba nga mukyali mu kisiibo, katubeegatteko ffenna tusiibire awamu nga tusabira eggwanga lyaffe Uganda. Katonda atujjukire, Katonda atutaase. Tujja kubeera wano tusabe, tuwanjagire omutonzi ku nsonga zino zitwogeddeko, kubanga n'Evanjiri ebyogerako, Bayibuli ebyogerako. Bw'osoma Bayibuli 2 Chronicles 7:14. Amisebo ofuko singo tegeera Luganda. Chronicles mu Luganda kyeki? Ebyomumirembe. Kale. Bw'osoma ekitabo ky'ebyomumirembe ekyokubiri, essuula ey'omusanvu olunyiriri olwa 14, lugamba nti abantu bange be nayita, yayogera Katonda, abantu bange be nayita bwe beewombeeka ne basaba ne banoonya amaaso gange ne bakyuka bye babadde bakola, nja kuwulira okuva mu ggulu gye ndi, bw'ayogera Katonda, n'abasonyiwa ebibi byabwe, nja kuwonya eggwanga lyabwe, bw'ayogera Katonda. So twagala Katonda awonye eggwanga lyaffe, aliwonye bannakyemalira, aliwonye abatujja batta abantu baffe, aliwonye effugabbi, aliwonye embeera gye tulimu etunyigiriza kye twagala kye tuliko. Era Bayibuli egamba mu kitabo ky'Engero, Proverbs, Engero essuula ey'okubiri olunyiriri, Engero essuula eya29 olunyiriri olw'okubiri. Bayibuli egamba nti abakulembeze ababi, abafuzi bwe bafuga nga babi, abantu babonaabona. Naye omukulembeze omutuukirivu, omukulembeze omulungi bw'akulembera abantu, mwatu buli omu yeeyagala. Mu Uganda tetukyeyagala. Tuli mu nnyiike, tuli mu kukaaba, tuli mu biwoobe. Twagala eyo embeera ekyuke, kye tugenda okubeerako olunaku lwa leero, olunaku lw'enkya, nga Museveni yeerayiza eri, ffe tujja kubeera wano tuwanjagire omutonzi mu kusaba n'okusiiba. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala. Let me now invite my clearer. So I was saying, yes, the military and police continues to be deployed heavily at Honorable Kyagulanyi's residence. We don't know whether they plan to hold him under house arrest or whatever the intention is. What the police and military have said through their spokespersons is that they are simply providing security for Honorable Kyagulanyi because he is a VVIP. Our question has been, who asked for their security? Why have they not been safeguarding him all the while? Because the people they have deployed to apparently provide security for Honorable Kyagulanyi are the same people that have been murdering our people. They're the same that have brutalized us, brutalized Honorable Kyagulanyi throughout the election time, and continue to brutalize our people to date. So we certainly cannot rely on them for security. But you see, the long and short is the panic by the regime. That's why they're operating the way they are operating. This place also, there was heavy deployment here yesterday. For those of you that used both routes up and down, you have seen heavy military presence. It's because they are in fear. You see, when you eat something that you have stolen, you eat in panic, looking left, right, center, because you're thinking anytime the owner of what you are eating, which is stolen, might catch you. Mr. Museveni stole the just concluded election. And little wonder he is in panic, because he knows what he did. And Ugandans know what he did. So that explains the continued deployment and all of that. But from our end, we are certainly not scared at all, because we're not lawbreakers. Whatever we do is within the law. And that's why none of us has been convicted. They've arrested us numerous times. They've taken us to court numerous times. Not one of us has been convicted. Because as far as the law is concerned, we are good. And so we'll keep doing what we are doing. Let them do what they have to do. There's been allegations by police and the military that Honorable Kyagulanyi plans to swear himself in. What a joke. We as NUP, whatever we do, we communicate. And that's why we have invited you here to communicate. We don't operate in a surreptitious manner. Whatever we do, we communicate. So these allegations here, as far as we are concerned, this is a ploy by top officials in police and the military to make some money. These people know that Museveni releases money easily when he feels like his throne is threatened. So whenever these top officials in police, in the military and so on, whenever they want to make some money, they create a scenario and they put Museveni in a panic situation. They tell him, you see, Honorable Kyagulanyi is planning this and so on, and he very easily releases resources for tear gas, for whatever else, and much of the time, most of that money is stolen by these top officials in police and the military. So that's why they create these situations. You know, they do so whenever they're a bit broke and they want to make some money. So this is another of those. Because that's how Museveni operates. He will not easily release money to build hospitals, to build schools, and do what needs to be done, deliver services, but whenever he feels threatened, in as far as his throne is concerned, he easily releases money. And the people that work under him have learned him, they have mastered his modus operandi. That's why they're doing this. They want to make some money. Because we have not made any such pronouncement. We are very serious people. We plan to see that Museveni goes, we plan to remove him, and then Honorable Kyagulanyi swears in officially and properly as President of Uganda. So we are not about to play games and joke around and I don't know what, hide somewhere and swear. No. We are a very serious lot. We want Museveni out, and then we shall go to Kololo and properly swear in Honorable Kyagulanyi. There is another disturbing state of affairs. You know, we have always said that everyone in this country is unsafe. It ceases to be an issue of just Honorable Kyagulanyi and the rest of us, leaders of NUP. Journalists have increasingly been harassed, brutalized throughout the election season. Many of them currently are still nursing injuries as a result of the brutality by the regime. We've also gotten information that of late, many of you journalists that come to cover our events are under threat. You're being intimidated. People in the regime call you, security operatives, they call you, intimidate you, and then tell you to stop covering our events. One of the most recent examples, yesterday, a journalist called Bate Sesanga of the BBS. He always comes here, covers our events and wherever else, just like many of you, and he has always been receiving threats. So yesterday, they waylaid him. He got wind of it. They went to his family, to his home. They briefly detained his wife and child, interrogated them, asking for the whereabouts of Sesanga, and they said, we don't know. So eventually got news that his home had been raided, and so he did not return home. As we speak, Sesanga is still in hiding, because these people are operating like rebels, and he has always received information. You know, they call him and say, stop covering Honorable Chagulanyi's events, stop talking about them and so on. And he says, look, I'm a journalist. I am doing my job. I am sent to cover Honorable Chagulanyi's activities. I go and cover them. The same way, some of his other colleagues are sent to cover Mr. Museveni, and he is covered too. So our continuous appeal, one, to members of the Fourth Estate, you now realize that the guns are not pointing at just us. They're pointing at you too. And so we need to craft out ways to see to it that we don't get intimidated, because you don't commit a crime by coming here and covering this event. We are the ones that say the things that we are saying. So if anything that I've said is deemed illegal, let them come for me. It is not your fault. And I think it's important that this message goes out to security operatives. Stop being cowards. Stop, being as fearful as you are. You guys call yourselves Sabalwanyi, generals, and so, but you operate like cowards. These journalists here, they're innocent in every sense. They are covering what they find here. And anyway, even we who say these things, whatever we say is within the law. So if you think we have committed an offense, let the law operate. If you think, and we're not saying journalists cannot break the law. Anybody can break the law. Nobody is above the law. But if you think, I have broken the law, in your view, operate like the law says. Arrest me properly, take me to court, as opposed to the hijacking of people, brutalizing them, and all of that. So we thought that we should make mention of this as well. Finally, from me, of course, there's been a lot of talk, people saying things about what we are going to do tomorrow, appointing themselves our spokespersons and communicating on our behalf what we have not said and what we don't plan to do. So today we communicate on our behalf. Tomorrow, Mr. Museveni is going to swear himself in at Kololo. He has planned a massive function there, invited over 4,000 people, which is a contradiction to the recent guidelines he issued, because he said, no, only 200 people can gather, but now he has multiplied that many times more. 7 billion shillings of our taxpayer money is going to be wasted on that function. And as we have been saying, because we have been hearing government officials saying we were invited for this function, we said no, we don't have anything to go and celebrate with Museveni. He's an election thief, so we can't go and celebrate his theft. We cannot go and celebrate the murder of our people, because Museveni went on TV and he gloated and said, I brought my commandos from Somalia and they dealt with these terrorists. He calls us terrorists. So he presided over the murder of our people. He has jailed many of our colleagues. They are still in jail, the Nubian Lees, Eddie Mutweza, and several others across the country. Many other colleagues of ours are nursing injuries. So we certainly cannot go and go and celebrate what? The theft, the murder of our people, the incarceration of our people, the maiming of our people. To celebrate what exactly? Anyway, as Museveni swears himself in, we, as the National Unity Platform, have declared tomorrow a day of prayer and fasting. We've declared it a day of prayer and fasting because we believe our country needs the intervention of the Lord. I'll quote for you a scripture, 2 Chronicles 7:14. It says that if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and repent of their evil deeds, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. Our land needs healing. There's lots of human rights violations that are happening in our land. People are being murdered in our land. Democracy in our land was thrown out the window. There's bad governance. We have rulers as opposed to leaders. You know, the Bible again says in Proverbs 29:2 that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. So we have wicked people ruling over us. And so we want to pray and seek the intervention of the Lord in our country. So we are going to have a function here where we shall be praying and fasting for our land. We thank our Muslim brothers and sisters who are still fasting. We don't know whether Eid is tomorrow or the day after. But if tomorrow you are still fasting, we are going to be joining you. As you fast, we hope that you can spend time to pray for this country. Whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, regardless of where we belong, we want to pray for this country and ask the Lord to intervene. It has happened before. We want to do it again. So that's our plan for tomorrow.